And we're live. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's Seller Ladies Live. I'm very excited. This is the first time I've hosted. Do you guys realise that? This could be made for Seller Ladies Live on Friday afternoons. This could be the one that brings the empire crashing to the ground. I don't think you thought this through before you let me do this. I am joined by the very lovely Reselling Polly Sam.
Hi.
By what did we say? You were Cara in the Friendly Ghost, although she changed the lighting, so she's not so washed out now. Cara in the Sewing Thrifter. The Cara in the I Have Been Sewing Thrifter.
Yes.
Louise, also known as Indie Chick and Mind Body Calm Yoga, isn't it? I always get the mind calm body mind calm by that bit. I always get it wrong. And Andrea of Andrea Hills. That's Andrea of Andrea Hills. Head of the Treasure Pirate. It was frozen, I believe, unless she's playing.
She has.
You have to tap people on the shoulder and then they can move. Say something, Heather. Let us know you're alive. Oh
No.
Heather. Maybe she's crashed. I'm sure she'll come back. I'm sure she'll reappear. So, welcome to Sell Ladies. We've got loads of people in the chat. I will do a few quick hellos, but there are about 14,000 people there. So, oh, Heather's trying to get back in, and it's telling me there's too many people. There we go. Heather's in.
You all froze.
Ladies, please.
Oh, you froze. You were in, yeah.
You were just
for a minute.
Okay, so we've got in the chat with us tonight. It's not night, is it? It's another day gone. Good night, everybody. Bedtime. In the chat with us this afternoon, we've got Lisa Heidinger, Malcolm Morey, Welsh Wonder Near, Mrs. Carroll, Laura Eccleston Siebel, Granny Kate, Lisa J, Shiv, Antoinette Daly, Nadine Coltman, Dowell the Sweat Mopper, Leanne Hill, Alma Madison, Badwolf, Joan, Alison Jones, Sarah Reese Sells. Oh, it's scrolled. I was trying to get it before it scrolled. Is that thunder?
Yes, that's outside my window.
Oh, wow.
Black cloud.
End of the world in Kent. I want to say Kent.
Down in Kent, in sunny, not so sunny Kent. Yeah.
Also with us, Kazzy Carl, Cheryl Dale Rowland, Rachel B, Nixon apparently says this is the Galax Appreciation Society Club. Yeah,
I did note that. You look like you're all in the same room at the top.
Yeah.
I know Karin just extends over mine, doesn't it?
Yeah. Patricia, Mum of 5 Sons, Claire Plant, that's my Claire count 1. Kath Palmer, how's the leg, Kath? I hope you're okay. Lex is in, Cos, DME. I've run out of breath here. Shell Staruni, Nets Potter, and Christine Davies. If I missed you, I'm very sorry. It's nothing personal. Hello, everybody. How lovely to have you all there. I'm exhausted. I'll have a nap. You carry on. So, Heather's got atrocious weather there. So if we lose Heather, we know why. It's because the storm's taken her out.
But Heather is looking very sparkly today for the first day of
She is,
summer.
isn't she? I think Heather should have been hosting. That's definitely a hosting jacket.
Oh, no. Oh, I thought you were spoken then.
Yeah. I can imagine, I don't know, like Carol Vorderman wearing that as she was bored on the board or whatever, you know, something very sparkly and
Nirvana underneath,
Oh,
though.
yeah.
Okay.
definitely imagine Carol Vorderman in the Nirvana shirt as well. Oh, Kath said the leg is itchy. Oh no. Just for anyone who doesn't know, Kath is in a hip to toe cast.
Oh.
Now, normally, if you've got a cast on your leg, you bang a knitting needle down there, but I don't know who's got a knitting needle long enough for that kind of job.
No, it depends where it is. If it's near the bottom or near the top, you might reach it.
Well, according to the law of sod, it's going to be halfway down and just out of that direction. Have you tried, like, drumming on the cast, Kath, in a kind of a... I'm showing you with my hands. You know, in a kind of a... Just so the vibrations might itch it. I sound like I know what I'm talking about. I haven't got a clue. Josh is in. Josh has more hair than the average bear, by the way, if anybody watches live this morning. I tuned in just for the fun of taking the pee out of Josh's hairstyle. or blacker.
It's gone for the full lockdown look.
For the full lockdown look, indeed, yeah.
I'll have to catch up on that one.
It's honestly, I tuned in. I was Natalie came in from her bedroom while I was watching, looked over my shoulder, and she went, "Oh my God, he's gone from being fairly cute LGJ, little gay Josh, to who's that homeless man in Josh's house?" Oh, Kath says you've got a very long whip, but she has to stand up to get it down the leg as it's not bending. I think
So many questions, Kath.
So we decided we would go for a little bit of light relief, and we were tossing a few ideas around this morning for things we could mention and get you guys in the chat to join in with as well. And so everybody's been racking their brains to think of the funniest thing that they can say. So one of the things I said about was, how about the best joke you know? So does anybody think of it? Does anybody know a really good joke or a really bad joke? We'll take bad jokes. Nobody's done their homework.
I didn't see the homework, miss, and I've got hail outside the window. Sorry about the noise.
I
I thought it was Nick with his tape them. Don't worry about it.
I can't.
Okay, I've got two of my favourite jokes ever. One is my new favourite lockdown joke. Okay, what did one Eskimo say to the other Eskimo during lockdown? We're all Inuit together.
Oh,
Oh dear.
Kath says it's a lunge whip. Her daughter has horses and her dominatrix days are over. She doesn't deny that they ever existed, just that they're over. Caroline Mrs. M is in and she would like to share her best joke, which is what's brown and sticky. What you get now? If that's your best joke, Caroline.
Yeah, I think my best joke is but the one about the horse that goes into a bar and the barman says, "Why the long face?" or something like that.
oldies are the best.
Yeah, I racked my brains. I really couldn't think of anything.
I've thought of one. One of my favourite dolls that I had as a little girl was a Bonnie Tyler doll. It was all right, but every now and then it fell apart.
Oh,
I quite like that one. I will try and remember that one. With jokes is that I forget the middle and then I tell the person it looks a bit blank and I'm like, oh no, I missed a bit. Thank you, Lex, for the super chat. Lex says, can she have coffee and a biscuit? Not for £2, mate. I don't know where you think you are.
You can have a bun.
You can have it. Look at some tight buns.
I couldn't see the cling film then. I thought, what?
maybe sellotape to the plate.
On the plate.
They're just fused to the plate.
Yeah. Well, they were fused to the tray because I left them in the oven too long. That for a crowbar, am I?
Oh, that's my favourite joke, Lex.
Next joke. How many men does it take to tile a bathroom? Go on then, Heather. The punchline is?
Only one if you slice him really thinly.
Yeah. Josh wants to know how many men. What happens if you illegally park a frog? It gets towed away.
Oh.
Welsh Wonderneer says that was a fabulous joke, Louise. It referenced her favourite song. Darryl says, why did the hedgehog cross the road? Because he wanted to see his flatmate.
Yeah.
Oh,
And Nick said he wasn't going to some buns today.
Why did the orange stop rolling?
Don't know.
Because he run out of juice.
And this is why we do this instead of stand up, in case you're wondering.
Nick says he's just seen Sam's buns and he didn't expect that today.
yeah.
So it's
There's
a
a truth.
unexpected pleasure, isn't it? My favourite joke. Are you ready? I may have told it on my channel before, so if you've heard it, just have a nap and I'll be back in a minute. Two bits of tarmac are in a pub having a drink, right? And the more that they drink, the more sort of gobby one of them gets. You know how some are, right? Some people are like that. And they have a drink, and the more they drink, the more mouthy they get. And one of these bits of tarmac starts getting a bit above himself, and he's like, I'm the hardest bit of tarmac in this pub. I can have any of you. I'll take you all on. I'll kick all your asses. I'm the hardest bit of tarmac in town. And just then, a piece of red tarmac comes in the door. Goes up to the bar and he stands there waiting to be served. And the mate of the bolshy tarmac, he gives him a nudge and says, "Here then, go and pick a fight with him if you're so hard." And the bolshy tarmac, he just goes a bit quiet and he starts looking down into his pipe. And his mate goes, "Oh, you're not so hard after all." And he's like, "Well, he's a psychopath, isn't he?"
Oh. Boom.
Possibly time to move on. Okay, so one of the things that we were talking about were like, if we could think of the weirdest thing that had ever happened to you, or the funniest thing. So, any kind of combo. Did anybody come up with something like that?
Yeah.
Who said yeah? Was that Louise? I didn't see your mouth move. It's like ventriloquism down here.
Yeah. There's a couple. Well, I'll say the funniest thing. It was funny afterwards. It didn't seem that funny at the time, but I can laugh about it now. So we went to one of these Oktoberfests, and there were 6 of us. Have you ever been to one before? They're all these sort of trestle tables, and there's lots of people being leery and drinking, and
kind of the big beer steins, and loads of people go away.
That's right, yeah. So we were on these trestle tables and the long seats, you know, the benches. That's the word, benches. All sat down, and the beers came in two pint pots. So there were these huge, enormous beers. So there were 6 beers there on the table, and we're all doing all the things that you do with the dances, and then just suddenly the bench that we were sat on just collapsed underneath us, just completely collapsed. The 2 ladies either side of me seemed to get out of the way. I didn't. I grabbed hold of the table to save myself and pulled all of the beers.
Oh no.
all of them. So I'd gone quite nicely dressed, hair done, makeup on, nice little top, skinny jeans on, and it was like someone had thrown a bath of water over me. So I thought, what on earth am I going to do? What am I going to do? So I went to the back, and the lovely owner who ran the event said, you can choose anything you want to wear from our costume shop. Yeah, so I had a look, and it was either a choice of lederhosen or this. I remember to bring it. So this is what I had to wear for the rest of the day.
Oktoberfest, I love it.
And I just had to wear that and nothing else.
Nothing.
The rest of the day. It's really long. It shrunk. It was like a man's extra large. So really, really long. I had my skinny jeans on underneath, and I could either take those off, which I thought, well, maybe not. They were so wet. The only thing I could think to do was to get paper towels from the toilet and thread them inside of my trousers. So I threaded them inside my trousers, and that's sort of how I sat for the rest of the day. It was just great.
It doesn't bother you anywhere.
No. So that's my story.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Oh, brilliant.
I would have loved to see the people looking at you later on in the day with your kind of padded out lumpy legs. What on earth was your deal? Going like, what's that about?
And completely reeking of booze.
Yeah.
Yeah, stinking of it. A beer hair wash.
I don't know whether
Good for your hair.
I don't know if I've ever told you ladies the story. This is quite funny. We used to go camping a lot when I was married. I'm divorced now, but we used to go camping with the kids when they were little and everything. And we went camping this one year, and I decided to buy this new air bed, one of these super duper great big massive air beds. And I thought, Dad will be dead comfy that, because it's dead big and plush. So we gets there, we sets it up, puts it in, blows it up. It only just fit in the bedroom where we were sleeping. So I thought, brilliant, like, you know what I mean? Anyway, gets outside, campfire going, beers are flowing, and more beer, and more beer, and more beer. So by the time I went to bed, I was absolutely rat-legged. So I'm sat on this bed, like, trying to get myself undressed and get into, like, new pyjamas, like, to get into bed. And he ended up rolling over and fell down the back side of the tent, not where the door was, the other side, pissed, squashed against with this great big massive air bed at the side of me, and I couldn't get out. Jumped like this down the side of the air bed against the back of the tent, shouting, "Help me! I can help!" That's one of the funny stories.
Yeah, Lex is enjoying the way you say airbed.
Her bed.
Your bed.
Robert.
It's very similar.
Yeah.
Oh, Lisa,
I did have a,
she says she's
I
reading
did have a yoga-related mishap.
put down.
Yeah.
Sorry, Heather.
I did have a yoga-related mishap, which will probably amuse Louise. It was in the I'd been doing yoga for a couple of years, and I'd just joined the more advanced class, and I was a bit nervous and everything. And they were doing, they were working towards a shoulder stand, which is not easy in anyone's book. It really isn't. But what they do first, in order to get into it, is you kind of go up and then over into like a plough posture. So basically you're there with your shoulders and head on the ground, your back up in the air, your arse in the air, basically, and then your legs kind of whacked over behind you, which was fine. I did it fine, but I couldn't get out. I could not get out because most of my weight is in my legs. I physically didn't have the strength. And of course, once I started laughing, there was no way I had any strength to do anything. So the poor yoga teacher had to come and sort of like undo me, kind of back down. It was quite embarrassing. And yeah, it was a bit of a joke really after that. I got strong enough to be able to do it eventually, but oh, that was funny.
I might have a go at it myself later.
At least you didn't fart trying to get out of it.
Oh, farts in yoga classes are inevitable and hilarious.
I was going to say, you get that relaxer, but it happens quite often, doesn't it?
Very loudly.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm over in the front room.
Carmen, I'm sure you had something you wanted to share. I'm sure you did.
Oh, it just sounds really sad, like now though. It's not funny, really. It's more.
I was just thinking the same about my story.
So we were due to go away to see my family one summer, and I think about sort of not the night before, but the previous night before, I was packing our stuff, and all I did was walked into the door frame, kicked the door frame, and I screamed in agony. Apparently my toe was going the other way, but Darren calmed me down. So I ended up in the hospital. So I broke my little toe in 2 places. And they gave me crutches and that, but I was really struggling with the crutches. So I borrowed a wheelchair from work. And Darren, obviously his job, he pushes wheelchairs a lot. And he's used to dealing with people in wheelchairs. So that was all good. But I was in a lot of pain. So on the train there, I took ibuprofen and paracetamol. And I think I took them too close together. So I just felt really sick the whole time. And we got to Peterborough Station and I thought I can make it. And I couldn't make it. So I ended up, we'd stopped and everyone's supposed to get off. I ran to the toilets, like projectile vomited everywhere. And Darren's going to me, come on, we've got to get off the train. I was like, I can't.
Kind of busy here.
So I managed to get off the train just in time. Said to someone, I'm really sorry that you're going to have to sort the toilet out because I've made a bit of a mess. And then I spent the whole of that holiday with people talking to Darren like I was not there, going, does she want this? And does she? And I'm like, hello, I'm here. I'm just in a wheelchair. It was like, Lou and Andy, I want that one. And I kept saying, Darren, no, I want to go that way.
Oh, Darren.
But it's just only that could happen to me. It's not that funny. It's just a bit like, oh, you sad.
Imagine Darren wheeling it out promenade at wheelchair there when you're going, go over there.
And it is weird how when you're sat in a wheelchair, people do not look at you and talk to you. They look at the person who's pushing the wheelchair. It was a real eye opener for me, definitely.
Yeah. It's surprising how often that happens.
I used to
Matilda's got a good comment on there.
If people asked me questions about Dad when he was sitting there, I used to pretend to be deaf. I used to just look straight through him. Andrea, did you have anything?
It seems really pathetic now listening to everyone else's stories. There was a story that still makes me laugh to this day. It was an in-school story, and we were sitting in our French class, and our French teacher said, hang on, I just need to go and get something. I'll be back in a minute. Behave. Went out of the door, And literally a couple of seconds after she went out, a man came in, random man, don't know who he was, and started writing on the board and said, right, so the lesson today is blah, blah, blah. And I just went into absolute hysterics because in my head, in my very weird sense of humour head, she turned into a man. I'd create this scenario in my head that she'd walked out and then she turned into a man and he walked in. Of course, he was just in the wrong classroom, but he had no clue he was in the wrong classroom. He just started trying to teach us all, and we were all like, "Who are you?" And I was in hysterics, and my friends just could not figure out why I found that so funny.
Did you learn anything?
Still to this day, I think about it and it makes me laugh.
Yeah. It's just odd that she went out as he come in, sort of thing.
Yeah, it was literally like that. It was like she just turned into someone.
Magical thinking at its best.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
This whole I don't wear underwear thing has really got to stop. It really has got to stop.
Yeah.
It never
Jib has
will.
gone full out on that one now.
Let's first in-depth question. Now, it's not for me because I'm not in a relationship, but I'm sure the rest of you would love to answer it. How soon into your relationships did you first fart in front of your partners?
That's a cracking one.
I was one of those people who used to go to the bathroom and put makeup on before he woke up in the morning when we were first together.
And get all your farting out of the way while you're there.
Yeah.
About 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
I don't think it was that quick.
Now, Louise, you do a lot of yoga, so presumably, I've completely forgotten Louise's partner's name.
It's Mike.
Mike, I knew that. And presumably,
Yeah.
Mike's heard you expelling air at some point in a yoga position.
I met Mike when I was 15. So
Nobody farts when they're 15.
I can't remember that far back, but I don't think it was long. I think it was quite soon. I've never been sort of embarrassed or anything about that.
What about you, Sam? Does Gareth know you fart?
He does now, yeah, but it took 5 years before I started him.
5 years.
5 years, yeah.
See, the longer it goes on, the
Yeah.
more of a thing it's going to become in your head, isn't it?
Yeah. And now he's like, freaking hell, can you not just go back to when you didn't fart? He said, get out of the room, do you know what I mean? And like I let one rip sometimes and he'll go, was that you? Oh my God. And how it come about is it come about accidentally. I didn't know he was there one day and I farted. And then ever since then I just farted anyway. But I never used to. No, it was like good 5 years.
What about you, Heather? You
I don't honestly remember, but I do remember when he used to fart in front of me and he'd try and blame the cat. And I said, and if the cat had done that, it would have lifted a foot off the ground and levitated over there. It was what's known in the trade as a loud report. But I'm sure, I mean, blokes are just noisy, aren't they?
they seem to perfect. It's like burps, isn't it? Have you noticed how men seem to be able to do a big Barney from Simpsons?
Oh no,
burp?
I can do big burps.
You've been practicing.
Do you not burp a lot, Carla? We're drinking fizzy pop. We're drinking like Pepsi Max.
I do burp a lot, but I don't do loud burps very
I
often.
do really big, loud burps from fizzy pop. Yeah, I tend not to drink it in public places because it's that bad. It's like, yeah.
Mike can't burp without turning it into a word.
That's a boy thing.
All right, or whatever. They just say a word. He can't burp without turning it into a word burp.
Oh, that's boys though. They start young, don't they? They just never let go of that.
There are competitions for that, don't they, boys?
Mm.
Lisa Hiding has begun a story. I think she's given me it in several parts. So she says, I had train track braces at high school, had an elastic between the top and bottom rows. I was sitting my exams and I finished early, so I was just sitting there. That's installment 1. I've got to find installment 2. I don't know if installment 2's up yet. She might still be typing.
It is.
Oh, hang on. I can't find installment 2. Can somebody else see it? Have I lost it?
Hang on.
Maybe it's not there yet.
That's it. Yeah. I smiled at the invigilator. My elastic snapped and whacked her in the face. Best bit was that she went off looking for the culprit. Nice one, Lisa.
Oh, that's brilliant. Can you imagine? Deadly smile.
Oh, I've just remembered one from school now. You're talking about school. Oh, someone who's been with someone for 20 years and still doesn't fart. Sarah. Yeah, I think I was about 9 or 10. And I remember watching, I think it was the Fall Guy. And I'd had a cup of soup and I had my cup. And I just thought it was a good idea to sort of, you know, when you suck a cup to your face, like,
Yeah.
and then pull it off. I was like, this is cool. And I did that the whole of the program. So what's it on? 40 minutes. And one of my brothers looked at me and thought, he said, Louise, what have you done to your face? And I had a bruise that went around there and all the way under my chin. Enormous. It was this huge bruise right there around my face.
Oh God, who used to do that though? Suck a cup round your face. Yeah.
And a similar experience myself. As some of you know, I used to do Ann Summers. I did Ann Summers for 10 years. And at one point we did a ladies' appliance. a lady's personal accessory that had a sucker on the bottom. And the first time it arrived in my kit, I decided it would be entertaining at a party to suction it to my head. And I kept it there for some time, and I had a nice round circular bruise for a week.
Oh, no.
Hence always having a fringe.
Yeah, we had a boss at Virgin that did exactly the same thing. He thought he was hilarious. He was walking around with this thing stuck to his head, making everyone laugh. And then he pulled it off and he literally had this bruise for about a week. And every time we saw him, we just creased up. It was so funny.
My other Ann Summers related story also ties into the fart thing. So I was doing Ann Summers. Quite often I used to sit on the floor. Frequently when you do Ann Summers parties, there aren't enough chairs to go round anyway, because people tend to have their living room set up to suit a family of 4 or 5 people, not to have 20 guests in it. So I would quite normally sit on the floor next to the rail, and then I could take the orders and show stuff and whatever. And this lady had a laminate floor. And I sat there on this laminate floor. It was quite an echoey room anyway. And I moved, and a fart that I did not know was coming, a complete ninja fart that I had no advance warning of, let rip on a laminate floor. Sounded like the 842 from Paddington coming into the station. It wouldn't have mattered if I'd been in a party with a group of regular ladies. I was covering for somebody else. I'd never met any of these people before. It was first impression.
They won't forget you. Unforgettable.
It was mildly embarrassing.
Carla, did not do that one where you look behind you. What was that?
That's why people have dogs, so they can blame the dog.
Yeah. Jo would like to share that on a very drunk night for the loo. She went outside to the back of the club, stooped down, fell forward, hit her head on the wall, knocked herself out, but luckily her friend found her still with her knickers around her ankle.
Oh no! That just reminded me of one that I had. I went on a hen do to Blackpool once with a load of girls, and you know it's an all-day thing. You go to all the pubs, walking around, and you get into the end of the night, and you're absolutely sloshed. And you always go to toilets, don't you, in 2s or 3s or whatever. Very rarely when I go out with a good group of girls, you go on your own. So we go, and like there was a big queue to the toilet. So when a cubicle come available, my friend Jo and me, so Jo says, "Come on, we'll go in it together," like sort of thing. So she gets on the toilet, so I'm stood at the door, sort of thing, and she gets ready to get up, and I get ready to get down. And I then pulling my knickers down. I lean on the door behind me, only to realise it wasn't locked. Fell straight backwards through the door. Landed on my back with my legs in the air, my knickers around my ankles. And this woman just goes, Right, love. Like, Jolene's actually sat on the toilet pissing aside laughing at me. And I was like, but I was that pissed, I didn't care. You know what I mean? That was so
Ashley's got a lovely one to share. I mean, some people are being very brave here. I wet myself on the walk home from the first time I visited my husband's parents' house. So I was too embarrassed to use the loo. Thankfully, he'd only walked me to the corner.
Thank goodness.
Oh, dear. Oh, Lex has a question for us. What is the grossest thing that you do that you dare not tell anyone? Tell us.
Live on the tubes? Are you sure?
Anyone? Anyone going to be brave?
I don't do anything gross, you know that.
I think you do. I think this meek, mild, and ladylike exterior hides an absolute animal. I have been known to fart into my hand and smell it.
Daryl the sweat mopper says the toilet was not engaged. Definitely not. Yeah. My partner does cupcakes, yeah, where he farts in his hands and then goes, in your face.
Jane Everton has very kindly super chatted £5 and says, fart away, ladies. And we're not going to do it live, Jane. That wasn't what was going on here. We're not building up to a big showstopper.
Yeah, I need some fizzy drink.
Well, Nick's been sharing in the chat that I fart in my sleep. I know I do, because I think I try and hold it in during the day so that I don't do it in front of anybody. And then
when you relax,
yeah, as soon as I'm asleep.
Well, it's not
Ellen, I mean, she's so small, but you would not imagine the noise that comes from her when she burps. It's like
so delicate.
the loudest thing.
Oh, apparently suction cup marks are called sucker daddy syndrome due to fathers sticking suction cup toys on their foreheads. It's a true story. I believe that. Oh, there you go. Lex would like to share some of her grossness. How it's so vile. Feet are grim at the best of times, aren't they?
Lovely.
Yeah.
This has gone very, very downhill, isn't it? Why was it?
What happened?
There were some quite, entertaining but fun things that we thought we'd come up with. Instead, we're talking about farts, and it's only a short step from there to solids. So should we bring it back? Okay.
Yeah.
If you were given a title or an award or an official position in your home, what do you think it would be? And to give you an example, mine would be Commander of the Toilet Roll Holder, because I'm the only person who knows how to put the new roll on. Anybody think of anything? If just what are you CEO of in your house?
Oh, professional cat cuddler.
Oh, that's a nice one.
I bet there's probably a queue for that one.
There's 2 cats.
Yeah.
They get very salty with each other when one's on the lap and the other one isn't. The looks, pure evil.
I would say cook me, CEO of the cook, because I'm the only one who cooks in the house.
Is it one of those cases that if you didn't cook, they simply would not eat cooked food anymore?
They'd just grab up to the fridge. Well, they'd just go to the supermarket and buy stuff that you could grab and eat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same here.
Or like microwave food or frozen food or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony wants stuff that will be ready within seconds. Like even some of the microwave meals take 5 minutes, and he gets very bored with those. He says they take too long, and I'm like,
you don't mind waiting. You don't mind waiting for the food, but it's me that cooks it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And I hate cooking. I hate it.
What about you, Karin? What are you princess of in your house?
Darren said if they gave out medals for moaning, I'd be triple gold medalist. I do like a moan. Well, I've inherited that because I can't say inherited that because when my parents ring me, basically it's just a long list of moans, and I catch them out sometimes and say, "Do you know we've all just been sitting here moaning for the last half an hour?" So I've learnt it from them.
What about you, Andrea?
I think I'd be family manager, because Nick never knows what time of day it is or what day it is. And Ellen's similar. So yeah, a family manager. Nobody would know where they needed to be or what they needed to be doing at any time if it wasn't for me. So
I always see Ellen in my mind as being very, very much more like you than Nick, but of course you know her way better than I do, unsurprisingly. So
She's
do you
quite a
think she's
mix.
more like Nick than she's like you?
I think she's about half and half, to be
Yeah.
honest. Yeah.
Louise, in your house, what are you CEO of?
I am chief drawer and door closer, because some people in this house don't think that they only go one way. They think that doors open outwards and cupboard doors only go open outwards. Either that or we've got a poltergeist in the house. So yes, I'm the drawer closer and cupboard door closer.
I'm coming over here then, because I spend half my time
mystery.
certain things.
Except once it caught me out, because it was a bedroom drawer. We had 2 cats, and sometimes I won't say anything. Sometimes I'll just go, "Oi," and I did that, and I went, "Mike," and he went, "Oh," and he kicked the drawer like that. What I was about to say was, the cat's just crawled in behind the drawer. Don't close it.
Oh no!
And he just went boosh. Thankfully, a little bit of a gap at the back, isn't it? And the cat was actually fine.
Ah!
Well, that was the one time. That was the one time that caught me out.
They'll use that against you for the rest of the time. Well, we deliberately don't close things because we don't know where the cat is.
I don't have a cat anymore, so.
I've been known to stand in my front room next to the kitchen bin, pressing the button that opens it and closing it, and going, lid goes up, lid goes down, lid goes up, lid goes down, lid goes up, lid goes down. What are we learning here?
Chief peg collector, Carla.
What was that?
Chief peg collector.
Chief peg collector. Yeah, that's me. That's me, definitely. Oh, my
How's the peg basket work?
Because it blew off the line and now the pegs are all over the garden.
Oh no!
Oh no!
What about you, Heather? What are you in your house? Are you?
Well, if I'm feeling put upon, I'm Dobby basically, and I'm like, shall I get a sock because Dobby needs to be freed? I'm bored with this. Is it because I use female? Is the line that comes out? It's like, just because I'm female, you know me better than this. This is not my life's work to manage other people's lives. I've got my own, thank you. So yeah, I'm quite snippy about it, I think, but it's starting to work because I really have got other things to be doing, and now that everyone's at home, they're actually seeing that I don't just sit on my arse all day. So in a funny way, this particular situation is kind of making people aware.
Karen says she'd be chief dog's body. Dog's body? Not dog's body. Chief dog's body. Andy's the chief of the bottle washer. Lisa would be master of the ladle, wielder of the spray cleaner, and mistress of the itinerary. And Lainey's got a lovely story for us. I really needed the toilet, and as I was coming into the square we lived, it got worse, so I was kind of doing the cross-legged walk. We've all done that one. That one where you're only actually walking from the knees down. The rest of you are walking, just your calves are doing all the work. Yeah, and
Clenched.
So she then says a neighbour had come out and started asking if I was okay, so I lied and I told him I'd hurt my leg. He was then insisting he should help me get to the door, and I was insisting he shouldn't. Managed to send him away and then peed myself as I was opening the front door.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Don't want to get delayed.
I must admit, I have lost control on my own doorstep on more than one occasion. And I think it's a subconscious thing where you're saying to yourself, you've just got to get home. You've just got to get home. Get home, you can go. And then you get home in the door and your brain goes, this is home. You're here.
Yeah.
Not yet. I've also got to get in through the door, past 3 dogs, through the front room, through the kitchen and out into the loo. Antoinette Daly is the keeper of the mysteries of all things electrical. No one can use a dishwasher, hoover, or washing machine here. Anthony, the morning before last, Anthony came into the house before me, walked through the front room, went into the garden, came back, walked out to the front again, walked through stairs and went straight past the still closed curtains because I was rushing to loo. Our toilet is downstairs for anyone who doesn't know. When I came out, he said, what, are we vampires in this house? I was like, sorry? He's like, well, why has nobody opened the curtains? You've walked past them 6 times. I've walked past them once, and you'd like to know why I haven't opened them yet.
Oh dear.
Yeah, like that's your job.
Nadine has a kitten story. We lost our kitten and searched high and low, thought he'd got out, couldn't find him anywhere, went to bed worried sick, was nodding off and hear a tinkling bell, thought I was dreaming, heard it again, got up, listening for it, made my way closer to it and opened the top drawer. Kitten was in there lying on my knickers, curled up. Oh, Joan sat down on the seat before she's picked the lid up. Before I've done that before. That's chilly, isn't it? That's a chilly surprise. And Nick would like to share sleeping into his bedroom through the window with a friend when he was a teenager. Long story. And got wedged half in and half out. I lived in 8 years.
He's good at wedging himself in, isn't he? I've shared the story of
It continues.
when he wedged himself between the sofas at a friend's house, completely trolleyed.
Oh, the final part, the second part is he proceeded to laugh so hard at the bizarre situation that he wet himself in front of his mate.
Oh no!
When I was a teenager, we lived in a newsagent shop, and so we had kind of half the house was behind the shop and the other part was above the shop. My bedroom looked out onto the flat roofs of the flats next door. Best way I can describe that. And then the bathroom window you could climb out of onto the flat roof of the flats next door. And because we lived in a newsagent shop, my father had to get up at 4 a.m., which meant he went to bed very early, which meant I had to be in much earlier than I felt was fair. So I would come in at the designated 7:30, you must be in by. And then at 9 o'clock, when my father went to bed, I would wait until I could hear the rhythmic snoring. And then I would go out of the bathroom window onto the flat roofs and down to freedom. And I would stroll back in through the bathroom window at whatever time suited me. I used to leave it open about this much at the bottom. And one night he must have got up for a wee. And he shut the window.
Oh no.
And the only way to get back into the house was to go in through the now open shop, past my waiting father, past my father who knows damn well that I have not left the house this morning. He knows I've not gone out through the shop since it's been open this morning. There was the window after that, which I thought was very unfair.
I remember a similar story to that, except I was very young. I think I was only about 4 or 5, and we used to have windows that you could you lift them up and push them out like that, and you used to be able to hook the what do they call the levers sort of thing on the window. And in front of my bedroom was it was like a porch thing, but it was a great big massive thing. And one day I decided, it must have been only about 5 or 6, pushed the bed to the window, got on the windowsill and hanged and dropped from the windowsill onto this porch thing. And I was just sat there, and I don't know how I thought I was going to get out. I just sat there crying because I couldn't get down. But it was 5 or 6, yeah.
I've got a very similar story, Sam. We lived in a block of flats, and me and my friend, I lived on the first floor, and we just thought it was a really good idea when we were younger to climb out of the window on top of, the roof of the porch bit or whatever it was. And she managed to hoist herself back up into the window, but I couldn't because I'm a bit of a weakling. So I ended up having to jump a whole floor to the bottom, and I sprained my ankle, and I was in absolute agony, and I had to tell my mum a lie to explain why I'd hurt my ankle, because I didn't want to tell her. No, I just jumped a whole floor from the top.
Wow.
I mean, they wouldn't have windows like that these days, do you know what I mean? Because they'd be classed as really dangerous, you know what I mean? Things that we used to get up to when we were kids. God, kids aren't allowed to be kids these days, are they? We used to do so much fun stuff.
Anthony and Natalie used to play hide and seek, and Anthony would go out of the window and hide, clinging to the window frame outside, sort of behind the curtain, where she couldn't find him. And he'd just stand there like a limpet on the wall. One time, she hid in the bottom drawer of the filing cabinet, and he closed it and locked it, left it in there.
Evil.
Bad Wolf says, I once tried to get back into the house through a window, and as I swung my leg up, I kicked the window and broke it. Didn't get away with that one. Becky's second-hand life says, I was shown off at a party when I was about 17 on a trampoline doing backflips. The next thing was my leg went down the edge of the trampoline, dressed around my face, and I got stuck. I've never forgot.
I bet that hurts.
Have you ever done that thing where when you were a kid? Bear in mind, as a child, we used to have to wear dresses. It was kind of a thing, wasn't it? You know, kids these days wear comfort for playing out, but we still have bloody dresses. And doing this thing where you're walking along a wall and you slip and your leg scrapes down the thigh. Oh,
yeah,
that's a pain I'll never forget.
Yeah. A graze is very painful. Yeah.
I remember falling with a glass bottle in my hand when I was younger as well. I've still got a scar on my hand now, but like I was just skipping down the street and fell over onto the glass bottle on my hand. But you don't get little glass bottles so much anymore, like with bottles.
I've got a scar on my leg where my mother's friend's husband picked me up and threw me over his shoulder in a fireman's lift and then dropped me on a garden stake.
Ow.
That was a nice one.
Oh my God.
Oh, Aidan, good evening. Good evening, Aid. What time is it in my world? Good afternoon, Aid. It's not bedtime, Aid. Panic. Nadine says she was a tomboy growing up. She lived at the top of a hill. She was racing her mate on bikes up the hill, full pelt. Forgot they'd put a chain fence up the day before at the end of the road.
I did have an accident on my roller skates. I think I was about, we went to stay with family friends and there was a hill and I stupidly thought I could go down it in my roller skates really fast. And I sort of lost control. And at the end of this hill was a busy road with cars, or I could go off to the side and grab hold of a fence. So that's what I did. I ripped all my top open and I absolutely covered in grazes.
Oh, wow.
But if you'd gone into the road, it'd have been a different story, wouldn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Did anybody have makeshift what do they call them? Go-karts. You usually make your own go-karts, like with the
If you get some tram wheels, you were a god. Yeah.
And like string and that, and you're pulling it like that. Oh God, I used to remember up and down the streets, pushing people up and down the streets on them, going down hills and everything.
We call them buggies up here.
Buggies, yeah.
Buggies, yeah.
Do you remember the days when skateboards were little thin things? I mean, a skateboard these days, you could fit a family of 4 on and probably sit down and have a picnic. But back in the day, a skateboard was about yay wide. And so you had to stand on it 1 foot behind the other. You couldn't put both feet on it next to each other. And I remember sitting on one of them with my feet up in front of me. So imagine, it's only narrow. All right, I had a smaller bottom then because I wasn't fat until I grew up. But even so, perching my bottom on this narrow skateboard with my feet up in front of me, so my knees are under my chin. Can't show you because they don't go there anymore. And then arms around your knees, so you're all sort of cuddled up, and then holding onto the front of the skateboard and going down the steepest hill you could find. How am I alive?
You bounced well. You must bounce well. I was always up trees, so I'd always be scraping myself, trying to get, because much like a cat, I can get up a tree quite well, but coming down isn't always as easy.
Like we used to go for the conkers in the trees. We used to throw sticks up for as long as we could get them off.
Each other with the sticks as well, yeah. Throw the stick up and then it falls down the other side and hits your mate on the head.
It's still play conkers these days, though. We used to love playing conkers when we were kids.
Yeah, they don't know how to play conkers anymore. They got banned, didn't they, from school playgrounds?
We saw doing everything, make them rock hard. My conker's harder than yours. Mine's a 53. Mine's a 53er.
Victoria Plum says, when I was about 8, I fell over a paving slab on my roller boots and broke my wrist. I sold the roller boots, bought shoes with the money, fell over running in those shoes and broke the other wrist.
Oh.
Sad, isn't it?
That was the skateboards and I called people carriers.
I broke my wrist going no-handed on my bike, and the chain came off at the same time as I was going no-handed, so I just fell off my bike and broke my wrist.
Oh. Lisa says, I jumped out of a tree in primary school. The problem was I was wearing a dress and it caught on the tree. Swinging from the tree face down, the dress split and I face planted the floor. Oh, and then there you go. Bad Wolf says, my 53-year-old friend the other day found her teenage roller skates in the loft, tried them on to show her daughter her skills, and ended up in hospital with a broken leg. Lockdown madness.
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
That leads me quite nicely to the other thing I was going to ask, which what was the strangest or weirdest or oddest thing that's happened to you so far during lockdown? What, lockdown-related incident of any kind? Has there been any weirdness?
I did tell you guys, but I don't know who of you know, like sort of the first week in. Never happened to me in my life ever. I was cleaning the toilet with bleach, the toilet brush, and it just all splattered up into my face. So I had bleach and poo particles went in my eyes.
No.
I washed my eyes out for ages, and I was so scared I was going to get an eye infection or something, but it was fine. It was fine. I just washed it loads. That has never happened to me in my life.
Karin.
Pardon?
That's some violent cleaning you're doing there.
With the face so close.
No, yeah. Well, I am quite low to the ground, as you know, so things get to me.
Maybe we should clean the toilet in heels from now on for safety.
Safety goggles.
Oh, look at this. People have some bloody terrible stories. This is Lainey again. I went down to roadworks and was walking along it, leaned against the wall and realised I couldn't walk forward, that's what to say. Thought my skirt was stuck and tried tugging it. Walking forward, turned out my leg was stuck on a rusty nail. I was leg.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
I looked at it, had to have it packed for weeks and have a scar. The reason it didn't hurt until you looked at it is because your brain goes, absolutely not. Your brain protects you by going, you can't cope with that. You know?
About 6
Your legs have gone all funny just thinking about that. When your legs go weak, my legs have gone weak.
years ago, I had a rug in the back garden that I wanted to get rid of, and I decided I was going to cut it up with a Stanley knife. Put it in the bin. The day before, we was going to St Ives, and I was driving down to St Ives from where I am now, and so I get this Stanley knife me, and I'm not the sharpest tool in the box when it comes to using, and I use knives and scissors all way different ways and everything like that. You know what I mean? Gareth like cringes at me when I've got one in my hand. I get some carpet and I'm slicing it down, slicing it in half, and then sliced it again, and there's all this blood, and I thought, who the bloody hell's that blood? And I'd sliced the finger, this finger, it's still got, you can't see the scar, but all the way.
Making Carla feel very funny. I think we should change the subject quick.
I'm only on to it just about. Oh.
She's having a moment.
I didn't feel it. It didn't hurt, obviously, because it was very, very sharp. But it went right down to the guts, and I can't feel anything in that finger now.
It's going to make us sick. Stop now. Let's move on to fluffy kittens and pleasant things.
Operations on casualty, and I know that's not even real skin.
The Carla, sorry.
Stall 69 has got a proper lockdown trauma. Peach-coloured loo roll in my all-white bathroom. I'll need therapy.
Absolutely. That's not right.
Yeah, but who's responsible for the peach-coloured toilet roll? I bet it was. Is it the husband? Who was it? Who says that? Bad Wolf.
It's Stall 69 who said it. And Bad Wolf is also going through the same experience.
Check out Rachel B. It's hilarious.
Rachel says, I got stuck naked in bed the other morning whilst my husband was on a work video call in the room opposite. I could see part of his screen that was going on and on. I eventually had to throw myself out of the side of the bed, crawl along the floor.
Bum cheeks in the air. Lovely.
Bobbing along.
Oh. That would have been funny if it should have been on the screen. It would have been even funnier than those little kids that came running in the room.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh, dear.
Stop reading, Carla. It's not good for you.
Can everybody please stop talking about the horrendous injuries?
Yeah, I think we need to stop talking about injuries.
Fluffy bunnies, please.
Oh, there's one. I entered the Red Bull soapbox race. I can't say that apparently. Dressed as a mouse and was on TV. There you go. The things you find out that you never knew about people. After weeks of building our cheese cart, we crashed it at the bottom of the launch ramp into a giant stiletto shoe.
Yeah. Didn't even get down the course.
Here's one from Nigel. Went to the cinema with a couple of workmates and had nachos as a snack. They'd run out of the cheese sauce, so I had double chili instead.
Oh.
I went into work for overtime, not feeling too good. Shocked one of the guys there as he entered the toilet to find me with my arse in the sink. I thought it was all forgotten, but at the Christmas party, everyone sang Johnny Cash.
I fell into a burning ring of fire.
Oh dear. So no other lockdown. I mean, my bank card was a bit odd, but it's not very interesting, is it? My bank card went missing. It was totally missing. It was so missing that I reported it lost and had a replacement. I know damn well it was 100% missing, and then it turned up back in my purse in the correct place.
It's been to the fifth dimension. The universe is messing with your head.
Would have done that because they would have Mama found your bank card. They wouldn't have just put it back in the right place, you know. So that's a bit weird. Yeah,
that happens to me quite a lot. Yeah,
bit odd that. Mandy says, "How did I cope when Anthony chopped his finger?" Well, he didn't chop his finger off completely. Luckily, he just chopped into his finger. And I think the reason you cope when it's your kids, because he's had lots of terrible injuries over the years. He's been the world's most accident-prone kid. You guarantee, if it was something he could fall off, he would fall off it. And I think the thing is that when you're kids, you go into autopilot, don't you? It's the same as I cannot stand the smell of poop, but I can change nappies when they were my own children. You just get on with it, But yeah, I'm not very good with other people's injuries. But again, in an emergency, I'm always like autopilot. So
no, you see, I'm the opposite way around. I'm all right with anybody else's, but when it's my own kids, I go to bits. Like my eldest, I remember my eldest falling off a ledge and banging his two front teeth, and there was just blood everywhere. I couldn't even remember his date of birth, his name, nothing. It was like I got phone like to my father-in-law, and then ringing the ambulance and that because there was that much blood, and I couldn't even remember his date of birth or nothing. But it was somebody else's kids. I can deal with that.
Yeah, I'm all right with it when they're injured. With anyone, if anyone's injured, I can go into right. Okay, that's blood. We'll ignore that. We'll just get on with what needs doing, and do it. But when you were talking about it just then, I'm gonna lose my lunch. There's another one. Look, Nadine.
Yeah, you don't need to read that.
We went to the mudslide. We were sliding. Yeah, remember when we used to slide in mud and our parents didn't murder us when we got home? What was that about? Climbed up like a slip and it's the barbed wire at the top. Oh, just below your eye. That was lucky.
That was very lucky. Didn't lose your eye.
Here's one from Auntie Sue. At the age of 15, Phil convinced we should go out on the lake in a canoe. She has a fear of boat. Did you have it before or after that, Auntie Sue? I had a panic attack in the middle and was screaming, "Get me off!" Phil had to shout at the bloke to help.
I'm not a big lover of boats either. I don't mind big boats, but no, we went on Lake Windermere once in a rowboat. No, it wasn't a rowboat. It was one of them little engine boats. There was 4 of us, and the lads, being lads as they are, like, hey, like that. And I was like, no, take me back, you can't go. Don't mind.
The bloke came to assist, wading through the water. It was only about 3 foot deep. Oh dear. Stall 69. I will be your best friend forever, whether you like it or not, if you can get that hair off that boy's head. If you find me on Facebook, I'm just Carla Jenkins on Facebook. And that would be fantastic. Let me know how much you want, etc., etc. And we will do a dodgy Facebook deal about it. Anthony's starting to look like Cousin It. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. My final question for today was, and it'll only work if you remember the McCain's advert, Auntie Sue or chips?
Chips. No, I'm joking.
Auntie Sue?
Of course I'm joking. Of course it's always going to be Auntie Sue.
Auntie Sue.
Auntie Sue.
For anyone younger than about 400 years old like myself, it was a McCain's advert and it was Daddy or chips, basically. Who do you love best, Daddy or chips? And the kid was like, chips. So yeah, definitely Auntie Sue, and Andrea's in the naughty corner. Well, we've done it. Oh, Sue says she'd go for the chips too.
I'm of course joking. It would always be Auntie Sue.
Every step of the way. We've done it. It's been an hour. I don't know how we did it. We talked absolute guff for an hour, I think.
Carla, do you want me to quickly tell you why I don't drink very much now?
Yes, I do.
Okay. When I first moved here, like 18 years ago, one of Darren's family members, it was a 60th birthday party. So it was like my chance to meet all the extended family. And of course, they're all Northerners. So they all just kept buying me drinks. So I got very, very, very drunk. Pardon?
Are you sure they're Northerners? That's not how it works, is it, Sam?
And I got very, very, very drunk. And Darren had to take me home early. And apparently I was so drunk, I ran up like a little hill, laid on my back and went, Darren, take me. I can't remember it. No, he just took me home and I passed out.
Oh,
I don't drink much anymore.
I bet Darren's not very happy about that, if that's what you get a drink, Karen.
Yeah.
Release the beast.
Do you want a cup of tea? Put some whiskey. There you go.
Okay. Auntie Sue says your hair looks lovely, Karen.
For the whole of May, I'm not going to hair dry or straighten my hair. I'm just going to leave it natural. So see if it
It'd
gets
be interesting to do a kind of a time lapse of Karen on screen through May to see if it just gets bigger. Yeah, well, like I said, we've done it. Thank you so much for letting me host. Obviously, within 7 minutes, we were at my usual level of disgusting conversation. I'm not quite sure why they blame me in the chat. They say it's me, and I don't think it is me. I think it's them. I think it's the chat that do it, because I start off with all good intentions of being ladylike and having a sensible conversation, and the chat just bring it down every time. But thank you so much to the lovely Sam Reselling Polly. I will put links, by the way, to everybody's channels in below. So Sam Reselling Polly, Karen the I Have Been Sewing Thrift. That's not your actual channel name anymore, is it? I mean, it's your channel is 8 foot long now, is it?
No, it's just Karen the Sewing Thrifter.
And the Treasure Pirate, Louise Indie Chick. I will put both of her channel links in there if I can find them. Good luck me. And Andrea of the Andrea Hills Experience.
Yay.
Thank you to everyone in the chat for joining us, and we will be back next week on somebody else's channel. I don't know who.
Kelly, hopefully.
Yeah, possibly Kelly if she's around.
And is next week the 50th?
Yes.
50th Stella Ladies next week. Party time, I reckon. Party time. I'm not hosting, so I'm just basically I'm going to tell you that next week we're doing this, and this, and then it won't be me that has to do it. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Cheers. How do we get out? End broadcast. Awkward wave. Still here.